Hi guys, how's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing great. Please let me know if you're in the stream and you can hear me. I see some of my friends already. I see Star, and I also see Almighty Blues CFC. Big up to you guys, and I hope you're all doing well. I think we can continue talking while I wait for the lineup to drop or while I wait for other panelists to join. And today I'm going to actually share the link in the chat so that anybody that wants to join can join. I see. It looks like Almighty Blues CFC. Almighty Blues FC likes the background. I just decided to try. And I'm just trying to try something new, and I hope it is good. So I think I might just get started by sharing the lineup of the people that I think would start. Let me do this. Okay. So for me, this is after doing some thinking and factoring players that traveled and those that didn't travel and those that are injured. I do believe Mendy will keep his place between the sticks, and that's no argument about that. And I think Christensen will lead the back line, given that Thiago Silva traveled, and it's quite a distance to South America for the Brazilian games. And on the left-hand side, Rudiger keeps his place. There's no arguing that. He will always start there as long as he's fit and ready to go, except if he's injured. And on the right-hand side, I do believe Thomas Tuchel may start Chalobah because we need pace to deal with the Leicester City pacey attackers, pace for pace. I think that will be important. For the midfield, again, I may be a bit biased here because I really do want Ruben Loftus-Cheek to start. I would say it will be Kante and Ruben Loftus-Cheek and not Jorginho and Kante because we need a bit of a security there. We don't need to risk it. Leicester City, they attack with blistering pace. I mean, and they can hit you on a break before you close your eyes and open it. You be in serious trouble. So, yeah, Matt, welcome to the stream, my brother.
Joe, what's up, Coachella? Big up, man. Is this the lineup? I haven't even seen the lineup. I literally just got on my computer now.
Oh, is the lineup out already?
It's 10. Oh, yeah, actually, it should be. Yeah, it should be actually out now. I'm gonna let it up.
If it is in.
Okay. Yeah,
is it out?
It's what we were expecting. Yeah, it's out. Okay.
So any changes? Should I make any changes there?
Yep. So no Loftus. It's Kante.
And Jorginho.
Yep. Oh wait, you already have Kante on the pitch. My bad. So yeah, it's just Jorginho removed. No Alonso. Chilwell.
Wow. Just 2 changes there. So what do you think about it?
No, I mean that's what I was expecting. I always had deep down that Kante would have started over Loftus-Cheek, but besides
thinking, because go ahead.
No, I was just saying. Besides that, everyone should be starting. I mean, Chilwell should be starting. James should be starting. I knew Chalobah would start as well. I said that as well. And the front three. I mean, who else can we really play?
Silva here.
Yep, it is Silva. That's another change as well. Actually, yeah, I just realized that Silva is.
Why start Silva there? Didn't he travel?
He did. He just traveled from Brazil. That's actually confusing. I'm looking. Yeah, I'm not sure because Christensen is on the bench. Aspie's on the bench, so it's pretty strange to see maybe him playing now.
Are you okay with the setup? Do you think that is the setup? I mean, if you ask me, I'd say the midfield is fine. There's security, but I don't think Jorginho will be able to. I think Ndidi is starting.
Oh yeah,
Didi
I
and
see.
yeah, he's starting for Leicester City, and Didi and is it Somare? So
Oh yeah.
I yeah, I think Jorginho for me, I'm afraid he's going to struggle because those two guys are they're serious powerhouses, and most
Mm.
especially in Didi on his day, he would not give Jorginho the space to operate the way he likes to. So I'm really concerned in that aspect. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I'm just looking because they're not playing the two up front, so they're playing Barnes and Lookman. With Ndidi and Somara, that youngster. They're not the most progressive players. I mean, they're kind of playing with two DMs, and then they're playing all Brighton and Castange on the wing back. So they're playing a 3-4-2-1 actually. So they're playing the exact same position that we're playing as well, which is kind of good for us because I think Tuchel was expecting two up front, hence why playing Silva instead of Christensen to kind of combat them two. But they're not starting. They're starting with more pace, like Barnes and Lookman, which may be a downside for us because the only goal we've conceded is from pace, which was from Cezar.
Here's another concern for me, Matt. I think I've noticed that whenever we play teams and if they match our formation like for like,
Mm-hmm.
our players usually struggle. So
Yeah,
that's why right now I'm concerned. But I honestly did not expect Silva to start.
yeah, no.
I think for me, I'm still concerned there because you could argue on the right hand side there's no proper security there in terms of defensive aspect of the game. Okay, let's just start from the back. Under normal circumstances, we expected Mendy to start as long as his feet, Matt. So
Yeah.
now, what do you think about the back three? We expected Rudiger to be there, but we expected if Chalobah is there, then you'd have somebody like Reece James in his front as a right wing back to have a bit of a protection. But now I think that right hand side lacks experience. Although they will attack very well, it will be fluid,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a risk there. So what do you think about that right hand side?
If I would compare it to their right hand side, which is Albrighton, Amadi, and Lookman, which is a absolutely horrible right side compared to ours, I'm not too scared of it because obviously we know James can track back. He just doesn't as much. He doesn't kind of do the overlapping like a wing back, like a right back does. He plays a really well wing back role. He's very attacking, but when it comes to being defensive, he does it, but he's not as best as he used to be at it. So I'm a bit concerned about it. Yes, a little bit of it. But then again, we've got Chalobah who has, if he's proven himself to be in this position, it shouldn't be a problem for him because he's got that pace, he's got that strength. He's going to be going against Barnes and Cascende and Vardy, who are players who are pretty physical on the ball. I mean, Barnes has pace, so he's going to be playing against Barnes, which is I would rather him play there than have someone like Silva or Rudiger play against Barnes, who's just going to use their pace.
Yeah, I think it. I mean, Chalobah can defend, but I'm just concerned. Again, I think this has happened before, but at the end of the day, they surprised me. They did quite well in that game, but I think they have much more tricky customers to deal with
Mm.
against this time. Although you could argue, I know your argument, you always argue that they're not technically the best, but in terms of pace, I think they have quite some pace there. We're matching them pace for pace, but I'm still concerned because Reece James and Chalobah on the right hand side, they lack experience. Maybe that's probably the reason why Kante is placed on the right hand side to help solve that issue. So
Mm.
now let's move to the midfield, Matt. What do you think? Were you expecting the pair in there?
So me and Amir did this on the stream, and we were saying possibly Loftus. We're kind of having a kind of big kind of debate on this. Are we going to play Kante, Jorginho? And there's been quite a big debate on this. I think everyone's been talking about this. Do we play Kante against this game or Loftus-Cheek? We had this discussion last time against Burnley, where we played Kante instead of Loftus-Cheek, and it didn't work out as well. So now I think Tuchel's put him there because he knows he can play. He's going to play more of a defensive role. Maybe we
Sorry,
don't need
Matt.
someone who
Sorry,
can.
Matt. Can you go back a little bit? Did you say what pairing didn't work?
No, remember when Kante came on against Burnley, we were like, Loftus should have played this game because we weren't progressing the ball a lot. So that's
Yes.
like the mistake that that Tuchel made there. But then again, he's playing him again now, possibly to not progress the ball more attackingly, but to play more defensively, because maybe we don't need to play to attacking, because let's be honest, their attack's pretty shit. Like, they've been really bad this season compared to other seasons. So I think Tuchel has the mindset that majority of the fans have it. If Kante fits, Kante plays, no matter what the structure is. Because overall, he's just
Yeah.
better than Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah, it makes sense. No, my argument was I mean, starting Kante and Loftus-Cheek would have been a better pairing for me if you ask me, because Loftus-Cheek can progress the ball very well. He can drive with the ball, and no matter how the opponents play, it doesn't matter to him. Even if they pressure him, if they press him aggressively. But Jorginho, I mean, as much as I know he's a defined register, I know he knows how to, control the pace of a game, the tempo of a game. He knows. I mean, but in terms of progressive play, I don't think he doesn't do it enough for me. I think Loftus-Cheek would have been a better pairing with Kante. Since we have enough security with Kante, you could argue that those two players in the midfield are both, you could say, defensively minded. So we still, I mean, I don't like it. Honestly, I'll be truthful with you. All right, but that's by the way. Go ahead, Matt.
I would say I would kind of rebuttal that and say, well, Jorginho, we play him against these big games. Leicester's a big game who has high pressing or has high mentality on the ball. We need someone to stabilize the play, like Jorginho, to kind of bring the ball, bring it to his feet, stabilize it. Let's start again. So I think Jorginho is much more important than Kante in these games. If we're going to probably put Loftus-Cheek with someone, it would have been Jorginho. I don't see him playing with Kante because they kind of both play similar roles. It's more Loftus plays more attackingly than Kante does.
That's a great point right there. And the comment on the screen that said Brazil played Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, but Silva didn't play. So now we understand why he gets to play even though he traveled. So, but that's by the way. And Amaya, how are you doing, brother?
Yep, I'm pretty good. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, crystal clear. So, Amaya, what do you think about this lineup?
Once again, I mean, I think we were together for the Burnley game preview too, right? And then we had Jorginho and Kante starting that one as well. I'm actually quite surprised that he's gone for that lineup, Thomas Tuchel. I thought Loftus-Cheek would get a look in today. But, let's see. I mean, there was that picture circulating on Twitter yesterday about all 6 academy graduates, and I was kind of hoping that Christensen and Loftus-Cheek start as well, and then we could have 6 of the 11 players who are graduated from Cobham. That would have been great, but unfortunately Christensen does miss out, and so does Loftus-Cheek. So let's see. He's always an option to get off the bench. It's interesting, but I would have preferred if he had started this one, to be fair.
That's my argument. And listen, it doesn't, in terms of goals contribution, our midfielders, it's been like a million years since they've helped to score goals and stuff like that. So why leave out a player like Loftus-Cheek with his attributes? We know he can finish, although he hasn't done that under Thomas Tuchel. But Ngolo, Kante, and Jorginho, they hardly get goals. Although Kante, when he gets, it's usually something special, but he hardly gets goals. The same thing as Jorginho. If you give Loftus-Cheek time, he gets goals for you. He can finish very well. So I'm surprised why put him on the bench again? It's not like he's injured. And he did he travel?
Who?
Loftus-Cheek.
No. He
was I don't understand, honestly. Declare, welcome to the stream, my brother.
But yeah, I mean,
finally caught a stream.
Yeah, finally.
Catching all the Coachella of chasing you, following me everywhere, and now finally caught your live stream. Been looking out for it.
It's awesome, bro.
Big up the clan, bro.
It's awesome, and I'm happy to see you here. So Declan, I'm sure you've heard the argument here. What do you think about the lineup overall before we break it down from section to section?
Yeah, it's good. I was surprised about the Chalobah one, but I like Chalobah anyway, so that's a like for like. Um, and yeah, what can you do without Lukaku playing? That's the front three you can do. The only other thing you could have done if Tuchel wanted to is put Pulisic in, but I don't think Pulisic is that ready anyway, or chose. So this is, I think he didn't have a lot of choices to
Yeah.
make. Yeah.
Okay. Did you say what could we have done without Lukaku playing?
Yeah, I'm saying with Lukaku out, maybe some of the other players weren't quite ready from international. It's a very short turnaround, right? We've got the first game, early game. I think Tuchel was limited in his selection. So the front
All
three
right.
is as is
we'll-
because of Lukaku out.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. And
Yeah.
what do you think about the pairing of Kante and Jorginho?
That's our best two. I know you brought up Loftus-Cheek, but
Yeah.
this is a harder game, right? We've had some easier games. Loftus-Cheek shined against those lower teams, but now we're facing some more harder teams. And Kante and Jorginho are still our best holding, midfielders in the middle. So this is what you get. And I'm
Look
happy with
here,
this.
Declan. I know you and I are gonna fight now. I know you're my brother.
Come on, man.
But no. Just look at it
It's been a
like
long
this.
time.
We're already playing 2 6s is already an issue because we're wasting 2 players there when one can suffice, right? And now, just like I may have mentioned, he expected Loftus-Cheek to start, and I the same. Matt, I don't know about you if you expected Loftus-Cheek to start or if you wanted him to start. Now, we have 2 players that you could argue that are defensively minded in a game that we need to win. Kante alone can sit back there and do the job. But if you want to pair them, if you want to play 2 6s, why play 2 that are defensively minded and not? That means their contribution going forward, it's basically 0. What do you think about that?
Because Leicester isn't a team that's going to sit back like the rest of them, right? Now you've set it up very nicely, right, in this formation, right? And how our system works. You see, Chile, James, Cho, Mount, Havertz is our 5-man attack. We really don't need the middle to go up, but when teams sit back deep, then we start committing those players, right? That's when Loftus-Cheek look great. That's when you add 6, but you don't want that many going forward. Tuchel's never had it. Right, we need Kante to put intense pressure, right, to get the ball back. We need to get the ball back. That's the biggest thing. We need to be more defensively solid against a Leicester team. This isn't like the other teams. I'm a big fan of Loftus-Cheek, right? I get it, Chella. I'm a massive fan, but in a game like this, I'd rather have Kante and Jorginho to solidify the back, make sure we're defensively sound against a team like Leicester. That's going to try catch us on the break.
I mean,
That also has deadly players.
Yeah, exactly. I was actually just about to touch on that. I saw the Leicester lineup just now. They're playing Sumare and Ndidi together in midfield. So I completely get the argument of Tuchel playing both Jorginho and Kante to sort of help the midfield out, basically, because they're playing 2 midfield powerhouses there. And if we had played someone like Loftus-Cheek, then I don't think he would have been able to. I mean, he's great driving forward and he's great physically. Don't get me wrong, but positionally, I think Jorginho and Kante are much better at holding their position than Loftus-Cheek is.
But the thing is, as well, we've been playing Kante. It's like playing like a Barcelona without Messi. It's like this is Kante as well. We've had him for he's been playing for us for years, and he's been informed. Helped us get the Champions League last year. So it's like personally, I wouldn't drop him over Loftus-Cheek. Even though he provides more attacking qualities, I think we would rather use our wing backs who have been proven to do more attacking qualities rather than have our midfielders and leave our midfielders to do what their best job is, to control the game.
Yeah. Here's the thing, and you guys can always come in whenever you want, and say, and that is state your point. Now, here's the thing: they have 2 powerhouses, like Amir did mention, and that's one thing Jorginho cannot deal with. If you've been paying attention to our games, whenever we play teams that match us like for like in terms of our formation, Jorginho usually struggles. That's my point there. He usually struggles, and hopefully that's not the case. I don't know. I don't watch them train. Maybe Tuchel has seen something different that maybe he decides, okay, these are the best guys, and Didi's back, and that guy is a monster in terms of his tackle, I think, is up to 80% plus tackle success and all that. So I don't think Jorginho will. I think what's his name, Ruben Loftus-Cheek will be better suited to deal with Ndidi's physicality than Jorginho is. Except if there's a way, there's a game plan for Kante to be, that is to protect him as he usually does. But in some, Kante cannot be everywhere all the time. Sometimes he may not be close enough to protect Jorginho. Yeah, go ahead.
I think you're wrong about that. He can be everywhere. That's what we know him for.
But, yeah, they say he covers 80% of the world. I don't know that phrase, but that's
Yeah.
By the way, I hope my argument came across to you guys so the way you will understand it. I'd say it clearly now. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is better suited to deal with Ndidi than Jorginho is. If you pressure him so much, he loses the ball. That's my argument right there. But if anybody has anything else to say about that midfield pairing, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Because you answered it. I want to quickly get in there because you answered it. You said when teams match up with us, which most of them do, right? Because they have trouble with this formation if they don't match up with us, right? You said Jorginho struggles. Well, the best person to help Jorginho is Kante. You kind of answered that because Kante is the best person to help him. You know, in a more difficult game, this is the two I would like. But if we're versing a lower team, and you just answer that too, when Loftus-Cheek does bring an extra attacking threat, can carry the ball, right? And a team's going to sit very deep. Yeah, I want Loftus-Cheek, not Kante, because then Kante, we don't get to utilize him as well in a game like that. But this is going to be a hard game. If you think it's going to be an easy game, then all right. But if it turns out that we are chasing a goal, I can see that substitution happening. I can see Loftus-Cheek getting into the game if we're chasing a goal. So you're not wrong, right? The argument that we've both made, Kochar, is right. It's just one's a little bit more defensive, one's a little bit more attacking, right? And they both could happen in the same game. It depends on the situation, how the game's going.
Yeah, I mean, great shot right there. Okay, let's leave the wing backs at this moment. Except if anybody else have something to say about the midfield pairing. And by the way, we have the link to the panel in the chat. So if you want to join us and express yourself, it's up to you. So now let's move to the 2-8s. And what do you guys think about the 2-8s there? Because we have Ziyech on the bench. We have what's his name? Barkley on the bench. Who else do we have there? That came position.
That's probably it. I don't think anyone else can really play
as
there.
well.
Okay, we have Pulisic, Ziyech, Barkley. I think there's nobody else there that can. Loftus-Cheek also can play as number 8. But that's, by the way, what do you think about that? Is that the best 2 at this point? Given that Mount just came back, he's just recovering. I don't know how tooth he removed from his mouth that he had to abandon the England game. But that's, by the way, is that the best pick there? I would have preferred Ziyech and Cho. But although some will argue Mount's industry is important. So what do you guys think about the pairing there?
But yeah, Mount's obviously very important to us.
Sorry, Matt. Well, I don't want to hear Ziyech. Don't making jokes in here. I know Matt's a massive fan, Ziyech fan. Did you say that for Matt? I think you said it for Matt.
I mean,
Chel's a great coach, man. He even hypes up your own players, Matt.
Even though as much as I would love Ziyech to start this game, you know, Mount is obviously a better player than Ziyech right now. So I said this on stream, I would force Mount to play this game because unfortunately, or even Pulisic, one of them. You know, I think we put down Mount to start for this one. We did.
We picked the exact same front 3.
Yeah, because I mean, we couldn't. There's no one really else. Like, let's not force Pulisic because Pulisic want to kick and he'll probably get injured. And then Ziyech, like, Ziyech just kind of proven himself. He's not in that front, in the top 3 yet. So let's just force him out for this one.
What you have to say, Andrea? Or anybody can just come in with your opinion.
Yeah, I think we picked the same front three. I think Werner probably wasn't fit enough to start this game right off, and he isn't that
Werner.
good.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Lukaku, Thomas Tuchel confirmed that Lukaku was out, so we hadn't picked him either. In fact, this is the exact front three that we picked. We picked Havertz, Hudson-Odoi, and Mount, and I think this would work because Mount can even drop into midfield as and when required. We know that, as Chelsea fans, we know how important Mount's movement and like you said, his industrialism is. So I think this is the perfect lineup, in my opinion. I think a little bit surprised to see that Leicester decided to put Maddison on the bench, and they're actually starting with Barnes and Lookman alongside.
Yeah.
With Vardy in front, so that's sort of surprising. I would have thought at least he, Henacho, or Darko would have started, but I think with Mount he gives us so many options, right? I mean, we're now currently matching Leicester's 3-4-3 because that's how they're playing. But if Leicester decide to bring on Mount and bring on Maddison and go to 3-4-1-2, then we can have Mount drop in behind those two. Or if Leicester bring on another midfielder and go 3-5-2, then we can ask Mount to drop in to midfield and play with the 3-5-2. So I think it gives us a lot of options, and I think that Mount's really going to be the game changer today. Hopefully, he's still carrying that form where he scored the hat-trick against Norwich, and I don't think he's played regularly after that because he had the wisdom tooth issue. So I think him coming back, he didn't join the England setup as well. So I would say we sort of expected Mount to start, and I think it's good to see him back in the lineup, and hopefully he has a good game.
How about you, Declan? You good with that pairing?
Yeah, I had an answer for one of Mia's questions just there. He asked, he wasn't sure why Lookman got in front of Iheanacho. Lookman is the legs, like our Mount. You know what I mean? Playing free strikers will leave them so exposed. They need just like us, we need someone to make a free in the middle, right? Or else you're going to get overrun in midfield. And Lookman is that guy who runs. And sometimes it's Barnes, but Lookman's young and he does a lot of running for that team. And that's why he has that spot. Putting Iheanacho in there will tear that team apart. They'll be so exposed. It's like free strikers that will struggle in the front three. But what was the original question? Sorry, I got off. I was too busy trying to remember.
No. The pairing of Mount and Cho.
Oh yeah, that's right. Ziyech. Yeah, I don't know how you guys make jokes like that about Ziyech. Ziyech shouldn't play. I'll tell you that much. Look, if Mount fit, he plays. That's simple as. If Mount's fit, he plays. He has the characteristics, especially in a hard game like we've been talking about. We can't, and just like I described about why Lookman plays over Iheanacho, it's the same reason why Mount plays over another winger like Ziyech or Pulisic. When you have Cho and Pulisic, you have basically two type of wingers that you need one of them to drop, and they're not going to be the best helper in the middle, and that's why Mount has those characteristics. He's like a midfielder and a 10, 8 and a 10 almost hybrid, and he can go attack, and he can also be a midfielder. So that's why he plays. If he's fit, he plays all the time. And so Cho has been in great form, so he gets a look in as well. And that's the front three over everyone at the moment. Barkley and Ziyech, I guess.
Yeah, great argument right there. And big up to everybody in the chat. Chichi, welcome. Staff, Just Viola, Almighty Blues, Ankit, all my friends declared, and he's in two places. He's in the chat, he's in the panel. Steve Chelsea, everybody, I appreciate you all. You provide more value to the stream. And thank you very much for always showing up. Now, let's talk about our number 9 before we switch to something very important about how I believe, rotation isn't helping the chemistry of the team. How well has Kai Havertz, how well has he executed the number 9 position, if you like to call it the false 9 position? If you call it false 9, I'd rather play Christian Pulisic there because he times his runs into the box so well that if you can put in that ball for him, 4 goals for you. And so what do you think about Kai Havertz? How well would you argue he's done? And by the way, how has Amaya turned to Matt?
Yeah, no, I don't know why his things about me. He just said he has to head off as well. No, I don't know why. I was just wondering the same thing. I don't know why his profile pictures. I think it's just because we're logged into the same account. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
I know it happens. Yeah. So yeah, do you understand? Why? How well has it done, and why not play Christian Pulisic, who's very good at timing his runs into the box, and it can put away chances. I know Kai finishes very well, but he's been underwhelming. Like just the comments here from Chichi, that Kai has been underwhelming in my opinion. Yeah. So what you guys think?
Yeah, no, he has. Unfortunately, he's done some decent runs. He's had a little bit of a good time, but statistically, he's done horrible. And for what he's supposed to provide, he hasn't really done that. And I keep using this example of the 7-0 situation where he provided absolutely nothing to it. Again, this is not his position. Maybe we start Christian Pulisic in the coming, maybe in Juventus if Lukaku's not ready, because Havertz is there. He hasn't really proven himself to play that role well. He's been decent, but not for someone who's 80 million and he can kind of play this versatile role. So I'm a bit disappointed in him. Hopefully he can turn around this game, because this is his last game in this striker position before Lukaku comes back or Pulisic takes over. So he does have to prove something now, but this doesn't still change anything on his role. When Lukaku comes back, we'll still be playing with him.
Well, what do you think, Declan?
When Havertz plays, I like it because we get more touches. The movement is great. It's just our conversion is terrible, And if our conversion was a lot better, we wouldn't even buy Lukaku. That's how good we're playing. And Lukaku, when Lukaku comes in, the game changes a little, right? We're more static, but we have someone up there that if he gets a chance, it's most likely in. And like Matt said, I believe that Havertz, the way he's been playing for international, he's starting to get the good form. And I think when Lukaku comes in, I'm hoping that he steals. Not that he steals. I think he gets over Cho, and he plays alongside Lukaku. And I think that's our best front two with Mount to make the front three.
Yeah, okay. That brings us to this point before we talk about the team rotation. Now, if you check, they say numbers don't lie. In the absence of Lukaku, our attack has been very, very fluid. We've created even more chances, and I think we've scored more goals than we did when Lukaku was available. So, the question is, had Lukaku been fit, would you prefer him starting over Kai Havertz?
Yeah, of course. But it's like you brought up. I like when Havertz plays, but
the fluidity. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably a better watch. You see more chances. It's basically our whole season last season, right? And it was harder for teams to defend against us. And now, I'm worried that in some games with Lukaku, they managed to lock him down because he doesn't have that movement. He doesn't have the touch to play off.
That is the point. If you were with me right now, I'd give you a bottle of wine. That is the point. Yeah, exactly. You could argue that he's changed the way we play. Because whenever he's on the pitch, we seem to play more long balls than usual. And go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No. It's we're on the same page because that it does change the way we play, and that's why when sometimes I jump on some of these shows and we talk about lineups. Sometimes when you look at the lineup you put Cho, Lukaku, and Mount, I wouldn't feel that comfortable. That's why I want Havertz with Lukaku to bring that same movement that we don't have. That's why I think everyone rips on Werner, but if Werner could score and the movement that he had, right, it'd be perfect. But that goes to say the question: we spent 100 mil to make a difference. This guy was going to take us to another level, but he hasn't taken us to another level. He's changed the way we play, right?
I'm
I'm really worried that down the line, I think it's going to make teams easier to defend against us, and we're going to have a big argument whether we start Lukaku or Havertz. If Havertz starts scoring, there's actually a legit debate to make, right? Does Havertz play in front of Lukaku if he
That's
starts
if.
scoring?
Yeah, if. I mean, he's had 3 games. He hasn't 4.
Well, he
hasn't
started
even
to score for
played
Germany,
yet.
Matt, and
Yeah, but he
hasn't
did
had a good
last time,
start.
though. He did last
And
time.
so the signs there that he's going to get form. And if he starts converting, right, he doesn't have to convert as much as Lukaku. But what he brings so much more else, right? He can, he can create more for himself and, for everyone around him, where Lukaku doesn't. And it makes it harder for teams to defend against him, right? And you've seen against Juventus, he was locked against some of the good teams with good defenders. Lukaku was shut down. He was shut down against
especially most especially against Juventus, he was useless in that game basically. And the only chances he had, which was why we bought him in the first place, he missed a sitter in that game, didn't he? Twice. So that's a surprising aspect about the whole thing. And look at what Chichi said. Lukaku has stifled the front three, and you could argue that's the truth. He's changed the way we play. It takes a great football mind to understand that he actually, if you ask me, I'd say he's created more problems than he has solved for us. Because whenever he's playing, we seem to create less chances because it just seems as if everybody wants to get it to him to score. And that's the problem. And believe me, I don't think Tuchel wants it like that. Again, Matt, what you have to say about that? Welcome, Kasim. You're very, very welcome to the stream, brother.
How we doing, guys? We're all right.
Yeah, Kasim.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah. So, what do you think, Matt?
No, I was going to say about Lukaku. Oh,
yeah, Matt,
go on, Kasim. Go on. There you
go. Are you talking about the lineup, guys?
Now,
yeah, we're talking about the lineup, and then I think we've discussed all the players, and then we're talking. That is the argument right now is that Lukaku has changed the way we play. If, in my opinion,
100. I expect that lineup. To be fair, I didn't expect Thiago Silva because he came from that Brazilian squad. But I very much expect...
Staff said he didn't play.
Yeah. So I did expect Lukaku to be, it's too soon. I think I thought it'd be coming second half, but apparently he's not ready at all. Maybe he'd be ready for Juventus, I think.
Yeah, but let me ask you this, Kasim. Let me just be specific to bring you in. That is up to par to where we are. Do you think Lukaku has changed the way we play? And had he been fit, would you prefer Lukaku starting over Kai Havertz?
Well, it's 100% changed the way we played, isn't it? Because last year when we won the Champions League, we had the runners in the front. It was very much like counter-attack. Very much we got Werner with space, we got Mount, Werner, Havertz. But he's just like in and out number 9, isn't it? He holds the ball. So he slowed a bit the people around him down. So I think it would take a bit of time to start playing probably with proper number 9. But there's no doubt about it. Yeah, he changed the way we play. Definitely.
And with him on the pitch, we seem to create less chances than we do in his absence. Like you before you joined us, numbers don't lie. We even scored more goals than we've done whenever when he's available. You understand? Yeah. Please, somebody in the chat, block this person, please.
It's definitely because he's a target man as well. I'm pretty sure the manager was saying to the like of Mount, Havertz, when you got the ball, just lift your head up and give it to Lukaku. And in a way, it's affected the way Mount play, Havertz play, and whoever number 2 behind Lukaku plays. Because it'd be constantly want to give the ball to Lukaku, and instead they go and they start scoring. I think it's in a way, they changed the way we're playing. And I don't know if it's in a negative way, positive way. It's only time going to prove, mate. We just have to wait and see.
I'm concerned really because if you argue, let's just put that aside right now. Declare, I hope you're still with us.
Yeah. I know you can't see me, but yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned
Leclerc is
Declan. You mentioned something about what you say. You say playing Havertz with Lukaku and dropping. Who did you say? Who would you drop
with
out
Mount.
to accommodate Lukaku?
Havertz, Lukaku, Mount. Is what I was saying.
Really, you leave Cho out.
Yeah. I know it's a hard
What
one.
about Ziyech? Why are you leaving Ziyech out? You gotta fit Ziyech.
You know where I'll leave Ziyech back at the hotel. Like I wouldn't bring him.
No, but you get my argument now. I think that sounds like he underrates Callum Hudson-Odoi. We don't seem to understand how good that guy is and how direct he is, and
No,
he's.
Coachella, I can give my reason. Yeah, the reason I had, and it's continues from the point we had, right? The movement.
Yes.
Now, the way we play and why I brought up Mount and his characteristics before is because when you have when you need one of the front sorry, I was trying to say two things at once. All right, in transition, right, we have different formations, right? And so sometimes we're, we got three in the middle, and then we attack with, three up front. That's why Mount drops deep to make a midfield free, so we don't get overrun, and then he moves forward, right? Now, the only other play that we got with similar characteristics, not quite like Mount, but similar, is Havertz. Havertz can play midfield as well, right? And so now, if that chemistry starts happening with Lukaku, to make up for the lack of movement the other way, right, is that now Havertz could drop in intervals, right? Havertz could also drop deep, right? And then Mount could stay up. And now, because in some of the games, I think early on, remember when Mount didn't have good games against Villa and stuff like that? He was actually targeted in that game. He couldn't run as much, and he was marked, and they went after Mount and to try to in that transition, and they took him out of the game. Now, that was a tactic I saw that maybe teams are starting to get on this. Now we've gone into the period where it doesn't matter with the lower teams. But if Havertz can also do that, we have that interchangeable movement that could help that we quite don't have. Right now we've been having what everyone's been calling inverted wingers. That's when Cho and Chilwell and James, and when we had Ziyech on the other side, and maybe Pulisic comes in and looks great. But it only looks great when teams have parked the bus at the back. Not when we verse harder teams and we're back and forth. That's why if Havertz can do that, he can bring some of that movement back when he plays striker. And we need something there. We need some help, because all of a sudden, like I just described there, we become a little bit predictable. When
That's
you have,
exactly that's what worrying
there's two
me.
bottles of wine, Cho.
How do you knew exactly what I was gonna say? That's a point I love so much. Honestly, I owe you wine, and hopefully we'll meet at Stamford Bridge someday, and I'll give you the wine. That's the point. That's the point. And thank you again, Declan. I'm so happy you're on this stream and you're making so many great points. It's just that we have to end it to go watch the game soon, but we still have a bit of a time. And Matt, remember, whenever you like, you can also come in. So Helgi, before we switch to the next point to round off, I'm going to ask you, what do you think about the lineup overall?
I think there are no surprises there, because the players that are available are starting. Werner, I'm pleased that he is back on the bench, while in general and overall for the lineup, it's something that I really expected. Maybe something that comes a bit as unpredictable is Trevor's inclusion instead of Christensen, but we should remember that we're coming after the international break, and I have been here even after before games that followed international breaks last month or a couple of months ago, and I said that the physical nature of the players and their status during the training session, that in the time that the national team have been playing, has a big influence on the manager's decision to decide on the starting lineup. But hopefully I'm seeing that a lot of the players who were with their internationals and played, like Chilwell, James, Kante had restricted minutes, but yeah, he played for France as well. Jorginho, so Kai played one game, so they are playing, and this means that or implies that the physical nature of them is good. So overall, I don't see any surprises, and this is, I think, more or less what I expected.
Okay, that's you. For me, I see a surprise. I expected Ruben Loftus-Cheek to start, though some would disagree with me and declared just from a lawyer's perspective, actually did explain extensively why he thinks that the pairing there is the best for us in this game. So now to round off this a particular stream, I'd like us to talk about, I mean, anybody can comment. How do you think that the rotation, if you ask me, I'd say it's one of the reasons why our attacks sometimes seem to be a bit disjointed whenever another player comes in. And I think the player that this has affected so much, even more, is Ziyech himself. He seemed to lack a bit of chemistry with some of the players. So do we think that rotation, while it helps us to rest players and not have them burn out because they're humans, they're not machines after all. Now, why do you guys think that rotation is, I mean, is detrimental to to the development of chemistry between the players?
I would say Pulisic needs to come on number one play with Cho. I would love to see the two kind of similarity of the players to play together to see how they can combat their similar skills and maybe create like an amazement of pace on the field. Maybe we can see some Ziyech action. Maybe I just don't want to see Barkley on that pitch. Maybe we can see Jorginho come off for Loftus-Cheek if we're not progressing attackably, and maybe if we're not leading before the 60th or 50th minute, which hopefully we should be leading. But other than that, I don't think we'll make some very eager or like subs like take off a defender or maybe even a wing back. I think it'll be majority the usual of our attack and our midfield.
Great argument right there. And before we continue, Matt, a question for you. You guys have a live watch along, right?
Yeah, we do now. Yeah.
So guys, please don't forget after this show to head on to CFC chat to join the chat there. They usually have great conversation as the game goes on. Yeah, so now, Declan, anything to say about how, rotation has affected our players, especially Ziyech? And you could argue also Christian Pulisic, I mean, their chemistry with their teammates.
Well, yeah, it has. But with Pulisic, he's been injured, so there's nothing really you could have done there. It's a hard one, yeah, where we need rotation with the amount of games we're playing, but it ruined our chemistry. But at the same time, we played. If it was with Havertz, we don't need, that chemistry is there from last season. But the fact that Lukaku's in and then Lukaku gets injured, and now we're still playing catch up. So I guess we just have to wait and see the second half of the season. I think that's when we're hoping because we're top of the league, even with that what you said, with the lack of chemistry within some players. And if we can go to the second half of the season and we have rotation perfectly now, our players are going to be fitter, and then we're going to have that chemistry that you've been talking about in the second half of the season. And if if by Christmas we're on top, then we're looking good for the second half of the season.
Yeah, I do agree with you. And again, yeah, we have lots of games to play, which means players will get the chance to play with each other. Hopefully, that will help them develop chemistry that they lack, and that it's very, very pronounced in some games. And that brings to mind the question: okay, why make changes to the attack that's been so fluid? They have great chemistry. The three that's played together for a while now, in the absence of Lukaku and Timo Werner, their chemistry and understanding on the pitch has been awesome. So, but that's, by the way, Helgi, can you quickly give us your opinion on that so that Matt can take some time and plug himself in and declare? I don't know if he started his own channel or not. If that happens, I'd love it.
So regarding the discussion, the rotation discussion that we are doing, especially in terms of the attack fluidity, I believe that one advantage, at least in principle, that the today's trio have and that have played even in the games before, since Lukaku got injured, is that they are playing in their natural positions. Like Hudson-Odoi is finally playing in a position that he loves. It's a sort of inverted left winger. Mount love that half space position. I have said that Kai is at his best when he plays as a 9, even though he may not seem as that sort of archetypical number 9, but sort of with similarities to Van Persie more. And while Ziyech, what is an advantage for the trio, for Ziyech, it's a sort of disadvantage in my opinion, because as I have said before, that he's that kind of guy who loves to hug the throw-in line and then go inside and cross with his left foot towards the far post, while in this kind of inverted position he doesn't have this sort of opportunity, and sometimes this shows that lack of cutting edge from him to put the right weight on the crosses, on the vertical passes, and this is a problem, I think, which may lead to a possible exclusion of him from the team in the other windows. I hope that it won't happen, but the signs are these. So yeah, the fluidity is there, but I would, more than the rotation, I would see the fact that they are playing in their natural positions as the opportunity for Tuchel to give them the opportunity to start. And this is my opinion on this. So it's not sort of rotation, but for me it's the fact that they are playing where they should play and where they should be deployed regularly.
Yep, you're echoing the argument of Stav, who's in the chat. He loves to argue that the issue with some of our players is that they're not playing in their preferred position or natural position, if you like. So, Declan, can you quickly please address this comment on the screen so that Matt can plug in himself and we'll round off and go watch the game?
I wouldn't call Leicester look tricky because they've been out of form. You know, I think it should be an easier game. They only really have a good counter-attacking team. They've played our system a few times. They got good players, but they haven't been clicking. And I think their last big win was against Man United, and that's not big. That's not a big feat, as we saw. So I think we go into this game better. I think the only edge that they have is that they had less international players, and as long as and we were set up for not to get properly counted. But like we saw last week, if we play games right against like Burnley, like you saw, we just play like it's a training and don't score, and we're too comfortable in a 1-0 lead. Leicester can steal the game off us. They can do a snatch and win. They're perfectly set up for that. So
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Form.
Yeah, thank you very much. And again, before I hand it over to Matt, I must say that I usually, when Chelsea fans are concerned, that's when the players end up doing well. But when we feel like we'll mop the floor with the team, I'm usually concerned. So I think it will be a good day for us. Matt, go ahead, plug in yourself. Tell the viewers and people in the chat about CFC chat and the live show you have, and yeah, so that Declan can plug himself in. At least his socials would do. That's fine.
Yes, obviously go check out at CSC Chats. We're live now. One of my co-hosts, Danny, is live now, so do go check that out. We open the lines at halftime, so everyone can come have this say on the half. But yeah, we're just going to talk about the game, watch it together, watch with chat, and all that good stuff. So yeah, do come over at CFC Chats on YouTube.
Thank you very much, Matt. Guys, go check it out. Interesting conversation and also reactions to events going on in the world of football. Great channel and great individuals. I've gotten to know Matt and Amaya beyond content creation, and I can assure you these are great individuals. But first of all, go enjoy their content. How about you, Declan? You want to plug in yourself, brother? And please don't miss the next one. I loved your presence.
I got the bell on, yeah. and Matt too. I'll try not miss him. Yeah, I only got really Twitter at the moment, so it's declared at declared CFC. So pretty simple to remember. But yeah, I'll get that going. Maybe it's channel one day, Coachella. Maybe.
Yes, please do. And you, Helgi, plugging yourself quickly.
Yeah, always a pleasure to be here, even though I caught it late because of personal obligations and stuff.
I understand.
Enjoying well, and yeah, as I said, always a pleasure, and feel great to see the channel growing, and because it's fully deserved. So everyone coming here it provides great content, and I'm very happy for the collaboration and for knowing you also. Thank you very much again.
More thanks to you, and hopefully you will grow Chelsea fan base in your home country like you plan to do. And I want to be part of that. So I appreciate you always supporting Chelsea, even though you're far, far away in Europe. So everybody in the chat, thank you very much. I sincerely do appreciate your presence and you finding time to provide great value to the chat, to the stream overall. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys next time. And don't forget, we'll be doing giveaways every month. In the middle of every month, we do giveaways. So if you're present, you might get a chance to win something. So I love you, and thank you very much, Just Viola, Stav, Ankit, my good friend, Chi, my sister, and whoever, everybody. Thank you very much. See you guys next time. Cheers.